I'm Deepak Chopra, and I'm here with two wonderful, really powerful women, Elza Malouf and Moza
Al Isaac.
Moza Al Isaac. So let me introduce you to them. Elza is from Lebanon originally. She lives in the United States. She's a Lebanese Christian. And Moza is the Arabic name for Moses, right?
It's Moza. It's close to Moses. Yes.
Yeah, and then the last name?
It's Arabic for Isaac.
For Isaac. So here we are in my office in Carlsbad, California, at the Chopra Center. And I was watching my Twitter feed this morning, and there is so much anguish about the really troubled environment right now, with lots of violence and lots of anguish and lots of suffering and lots of death in Egypt. Elza has done a lot of work in that part of the world with a very specific technique called spiral dynamics. So Elza, just tell us a little bit, because on YouTube we don't have that much time, a little bit about what you do.
I work in a whole systems approach. I see where the culture is and work with different types of people who are wizards of their own culture to help, like Moza, to help the culture to its next stage of development. That's basically, in a nutshell, my work.
So you go exactly where the need is.
Mm-hmm.
What do you perceive as the need in Egypt right now?
I think, unfortunately, Egypt is going through its Middle Ages right now. I see the killings, and it breaks my heart to see these people are killed. I think the military was wrong to invade the Muslim Brotherhood. They were peacefully sitting there, and they were wrong to kill the Muslim Brotherhood. It's not the military; it's the police force, and many in the police force also died. So it's death on both sides.
And the key, though, as Moza and I and you have discussed, is in any conflict, as soon as you take sides, whether it's the Muslim Brotherhood or whether it's the military, then in a way you perpetuate the conflict, even though we're saying it was wrong, but we have to find a creative solution. And as part of the Consciousness Project, I have been discussing with these two very powerful archetypes from the Middle East that there has to be a creative solution that can only come through moving to a higher level of consciousness. So, Moza, what do you think we should be doing right now?
I think we need to be moving forward and thinking ahead and letting go of the past, letting go of blame, and thinking about solutions and the way forward in terms of development, in terms of collective future for the good of everyone, a win-win solution for everyone that does not have to do with any ideology or party or country even, because there's a lot of opportunity in the world we live in right now for.
So, Elza, you mentioned that Egypt is going through its, in a sense, reformation at the moment.
Sure.
And this is part of the turbulence, the anguish that happens when people shift collectively from one level of consciousness to a new consciousness. And the fact is that here we are, sitting in California.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm Indian, but American now, and sitting in California. You're from Lebanon. Moza is from Qatar, and you have right here a reach from here where we are speaking through Twitter to 1.6 million people, through Facebook, just our Facebook page, to another 500,000 people, through LinkedIn to another 1 million people. So this conversation is ultimately, immediately, as soon as we post it, be there for about 5 million people. And if those 5 million people then retweet and engage with theirs, we could easily reach 20 million people having this conversation. And what we are saying is taking sides is not the solution, but there is a creative solution. Moza hinted at that through development, through economic empowerment, through education. This is a long-term process, but you're already engaged there, and you and I are going to work together, and Moza is going to help as needed. We're going to engage in that part of the world. One thing is to create a collective conversation as we're doing right now, to create this collective elevation of thought that we want a creative solution. On a practical level, what can people watching us right now do to help those who are suffering in Egypt? And then, of course, we need to address those who are suffering in other parts of the world, including Palestine and, across the West Bank. And, of course, those who are suffering everywhere in the world. Ultimately, that's what the Consciousness Project is about, elevating consciousness. But let's say tomorrow we had the funds and we could fly to Egypt. What would we do, practically?
First, we look at Egypt as a whole system. We immediately go into a reconciliation process where the two parties have to sit together, and President Obama hinted at that today. They have to sit together and have a reconciliation process, and then we can do the real work. We can push away the zealots and flamethrowers who are on both sides, with the liberals and with the Muslim Brotherhood. So we have to push them away and bring the moderates and the pragmatists to the table. And what you can do today, I believe in chaos theory. I believe the more we focus on our own consciousness, the more the world will raise its consciousness as well.
I believe it's as simple as taking that question and applying it on our own self, saying, what can I do? And just shifting each person, if each person shifts their own focus to, okay, let me let go of any ideology or any party or taking sides, as you mentioned, sir, and move forward, see what role can I fill? Could I be a better teacher? Could I be, and how do I connect to other people that can help? It might be anything, but just saying that question to oneself and starting.
Here are a few well-recognized principles in conflict resolution. Recognize that in any conflict, both sides feel injustice. Leave room for forgiveness. Refrain from belligerence. Use emotional intelligence. Don't try to prove the other person wrong and make them lose face, because they'll never forgive you and they'll only perpetuate the conflict. Also, as Moza said, do not bring in ideology or dogma or even religion into the conversation, because then you're not going to get anywhere. And see what you want in the end. And what we all want is peace, harmony, laughter, love, economic empowerment, and social justice, and of course economic justice and sustainability. If each of us can contribute to being that change, and if we reach that critical mass, which you can help reaching that critical mass by being the change that you want to, then we've started something. Then we've sown a new seed for a new harvest and a new crop. So anything else you want to say to people in Qatar? You're in a very important position over there. Development in a sense, right? The foundation. You want to say to people in your part of the world?
Well, I want to say continue to taking role towards peace and tolerance, and bringing people together from all over the world into creating a new future for the region.
And you're going to help us with the Consciousness Project?
Yes, I will, with all my capability.
I want to add to what you said, not just be the change you want to see in the world, do the change that the world needs.
Excellent. Okay, we'll keep on this. We'll work our tail off to get there. And we want everyone to be the change and do the change and act the change. What we say, love in action. Love without action is meaningless, and action without love is irrelevant. Let's combine the two. Thank you, Moza. Thank you,
Thank you, Deepak.
Elsa.